I mean, this has to be addressed. I'm not here calling for revolution. I'm not here calling for confrontation. The military, the police, the FBI, all of us are being treaded on. Whether you're an auto mechanic, a radio talk show host, a doctor, a lawyer, I mean, don't tread on us. Stop it. Stop putting sodium fluoride and hundreds of other chemicals in the water. I got a tour of the Austin Water Treatment Plant, and they admitted they put hundreds of chemicals in the water. And the people there said, we don't like it. Ladies and gentlemen, death toll linked to Gardasil vaccine rises. Complications include shock, foaming at mouth, convulsions, and coma. All right, when we come back, I'm going to shift gears into the police state, Obama speech to the kids, Van Jones resigning, a whole lot more. But it looks like they've kicked off the fear-mongering 10%, really about 11%. 2,000 of 18,500 students at Washington State have the flu, and they're saying it may be the swine flu.
Direct to you and in your face. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
As I said, the media is reporting about quarantines all over the country with universities where the government has control. They're beta testing and showing the public how the lockdowns are going to happen, how the inoculations are going to happen. They're creating the fear, the panic for the vaccine that was patented in 2007 and 2008 by different companies, the exact same genetic code. And then the virologists look at the vaccine and say this was engineered. We can all put 2 plus 2 together. Now, is this a staged event just to sell vaccine? Or is there something in the vaccine? Or do they know this virus in the human body, or the vaccine itself is going to cause mutations? Do they know it's going to turn into something hyper deadly? Because when you read the White House science czar and George Bush Sr.'s advisor, Ehrlichman, writing textbooks praising eugenics and saying we need a deadly flu, deadly Ebola to wipe out most of the earth. And then the history of chemical, biological, radiological testing on the people of the world. And then now this whole police state grid is in place. It really makes you have a lot of concern. So we'll continue to cover that throughout the week. Okay, let me get into free speech now. This Oakland admitted hardcore Maoist communist. I mean, he admits he's a communist. We played those clips last week. We're going to play some more coming up here in a moment. Van Jones, why would an administration that got 4 times the money from Goldman Sachs and J.P. Morgan Chase than John McCain? And again, I'm not saying I was for John McCain. John McCain wasn't even in the running. It was always about Obama. That's why would the ultra-rich put Obama in power, and then he brings in masses of on-the-record communists? And why do we even call that leftists? Big money always wants fascism, communism, socialism. They want command and control. They want to centralize power. No matter if you're a communist or socialist or fascist country, there's police in black ski masks, black uniforms, spies, cameras, tattletale groups. The president is on big telescreens and movie theater screens announcing to the youth. The president or the dictator, the Fuhrer, always reaches out to the youth. See, the establishment gives you all these fake choices of command and control, fascist, communist, socialist, but it always ends in the same thing. And then Van Jones, it came out, called Republican scum and all these cuss words. He called for total wealth redistribution. He called for boycotts and shutting down talk radio. So that made him an enemy of the mainline conservatives. And he was already going to be discarded. Then it came out that Van Jones, in fact, we'll punch up a picture of him on screen for everybody watching. Then it came out that Van Jones was a 9/11 truther. And we've now confirmed in 2002 he took part in a march We've confirmed in 2004 he signed the petition. And that's the only good thing to his credit. But see, you notice, though, he didn't do that once he became a czar with incredible power over green jobs and the takeover of our economy. You notice once he got in a position of power, Van Jones shut up about it, and he denied 9/11 truth once he got put under pressure for it. Because, see, he was only doing it for political control and power. That's what these poverty pimps do, is they go and join every group. 9/11 truth is not a left-wing or right-wing issue. I want to read to everybody out there what the 9/11 Commission said, bipartisan and appointed by Bush. And we have this article posted up on Infowars.com. It's highly credible people. Normally I'd show this on TV, but it's got an email up in the corner I don't want to put on TV. "911 commissioners, the co-chairs of the 911 Commission, Thomas Keane and Lee Hamilton, said that the CIA and likely the White House obstructed our investigation. The co-chairs of the 9/11 Commission also said the 9/11 commissioners knew that the military officials misrepresented the facts of the commission, and the commission considered recommending criminal charges for such false statements, yet didn't bother to tell the American people. Indeed, the co-chairs of the commission now admit that the commission largely operated based on political considerations." There's links to mainstream news on all of this. This is Washington Post. 911 Commission co-chair Lee Hamilton says, "I don't believe for a minute we got everything right, that the commission was set up to fail, that people should keep asking questions about 9/11, that 9/11 debate should continue. The 9/11 Commission report was only the first draft of history." 911 Commissioner Bob Kerrey said that there are ample reasons to suspect that there may be some administrative and some alternative to what we outlined in our version we didn't have access to. 911 Commissioner Timothy Romer said, "We were extremely frustrated with the false statements we were getting." Former 911 Commissioner Max Cleland resigned from the commission, stating, "It is a national scandal. The investigation is now compromised. And one of these days we will have to get a full story because the 9/11 issue is so important to America that the White House wants to cover it up." 9/11 Commissioner John Lehman said, "We purposely put together a staff that had, in a way, conflicts of interest." The senior counsel of the 9/11 Commission, John Farmer, who led the 9/11 staff inquiry, said, "I was shocked at how different the truth was from the way it was described. The tapes told a radically different story from what had been told to us and the public for 2 years. This is not spin. What we were told is not true." So I babbled through those. But the point is, the 9/11 Commission said this was a complete fraud and a lie, and what happened on 9/11 was a lie. We have declassified government documents like Operation Northwoods that ABC News and Baltimore Sun reported on, where the U.S. government planned to bomb U.S. cities to blame it on foreign enemies. The Pentagon has declassified that they staged all sorts of attacks. Gulf of Tonkin, USS Liberty, to get us into wars, or to try to get us into wars. So to say that no one should investigate this and no one should ask questions, well, why doesn't the media attack the 9/11 Commission members? They don't. They just lie and say that the commission members are in total agreement on the official story. We're going to play a clip of that from National Geographic's latest propaganda brainwashing piece coming up in the next hour with Richard Gage. But here is Van Jones, the Green Jobs Coordinator, engaging in the Hegelian dialectic, not just a problem, reaction, solution, but he talks about things like integration, not discriminating, blacks having rights. You agree with that. Then he drops in the middle, total redistribution of all wealth, going farther than Lenin and Mao and Stalin. Okay? You understand? So notice his psyop here. And then he goes on to say the green system is a total revolution to take over the American society. And that's what it is. Only select corporations and businesses are going to be able to operate. They admit under the green bill that's passed the House, not the Senate yet, the global warming bill, that they can regulate selectively whatever they want, that 35 agencies are given unlimited power. This is a mafia takeover. Let's start playing the Van Jones clip.
One of the things that has happened, I think, too often to progressives is that we don't understand the relationship between minimum goals and maximum goals. Right after Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat, if the civil rights leaders had jumped out and said, okay, now we want reparations for slavery, we want redistribution of all wealth, and we want to legalize mixed marriages, that had been they had come out with a maximum program the very next day, they'd have been laughed at. Instead, they came out with a very minimum program. We just want to integrate these buses.